Добрый день, дорогие друзья! Итак, мы продолжаем с вами изучать английский язык по вашим учебникам Action. Сегодня мы приступаем к изучению 9-го модуля. Он называется Independent Project. Откройте, пожалуйста, ваши Students Book на странице 111. Итак, цель сегодняшнего занятия – пополнить лексический запас и научиться работать с текстом, вспомнить грамматику. Окей. The first exercise, look at the pictures. What do you know about these scientific breakthroughs? Tell the class. And number 2, fill in. Вам нужно заполнить пропуски словами. Выполните, пожалуйста, это задание самостоятельно, а потом сверитесь с ответами, которые я вам предоставлю. Итак, the first one, elements. Number 2, properties. Number 3, universe. Number 4, DNA. And number 5, helix. Вот таким образом нужно было распределить слова. У нас получилось верно. Я думаю, что вы тоже выполнили без ошибок. Окей, listen and check. Теперь давайте, пожалуйста, послушаем аудиозапись и проверим. Аудиозапись поможет вам в произношении некоторых слов, которые вы затрудняетесь произнести.
The periodic table of the elements. Dmitry Mendeleev, 1869. This Russian chemist organized all of the chemical elements into groups based on their properties and left spaces for new elements to be discovered. This information is known as the periodic table of the elements and is used all over the world. 2. The Big Bang Theory. Georges Lemaitre, 1920s. A Belgian physicist and astronomer was the first to suggest that our universe is expanding from a single point. His ideas became known as the Big Bang Theory, which is one theory for how the universe was created. 3. DNA structure. James Watson and Francis Crick, 1953. American scientist James Watson and British scientist Francis Crick discovered that our DNA is not flat, but a 3D structure that twists around in a double helix.
Окей. И еще хотела бы показать вам видео для понимания темы.
Scientific breakthroughs. Let's take a look at some of the most important scientific breakthroughs in history. In 1869, the Russian chemist Dmitry Mendeleev organized all of the chemical elements into groups based on their properties and left spaces for new elements to be discovered. This information is known as the periodic table of the elements and is used all over the world. In the 1920s, the Belgian physicist and astronomer Georges Lemaitre was the first to suggest that our universe is expanding from a single point. His ideas became known as the Big Bang Theory, which is one theory for how the universe was created. In 1953, American scientist James Watson and British scientist Francis Crick discovered that our DNA is not flat. Instead, they discovered that DNA is actually a 3D structure that twists around in a double helix. What other scientific breakthroughs can you think of? Are they as important as the ones in this video?
Okay, and now let's do next exercise. Over to you. Think of two scientific breakthroughs and present them to class. Итак, какие два научных открытия вы можете представить классу? Давайте послушаем образцовый ответ.
The transistor was invented in 1947 by a team of researchers at Bell Labs in the USA. This paved the way for the transistor radio, the television, and early computers. Magnetic resonance imaging was invented by American chemist Paul C. Lauterbur in 1971. Later, Peter Mansfield, an English physicist, developed a technique that meant scans would take seconds instead of hours and produce clearer images. They were awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2003 for their discoveries. MRI scans can diagnose diseases quickly and easily and have advanced medicine a great deal.
Окей, и мы продолжаем с вами следующую страницу. Открываем, and the first exercise. Listen and say, then read the dictionary entries.
Planet, asteroid, comet, galaxy, star, meteor, moon, constellation.
Okay. And can you name the planets in our solar system? Listen and check.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Окей, пожалуйста, данные слова нужно запомнить произношение, ну, перевод тут понятен. Окей, мы же продолжаем. Exercise 2. Reading, what do you know about the origins of the universe? What would you like to know about it? Write down 2 questions. Okay, let's listen.
The origin of the universe began with the Big Bang nearly 14 billion years ago, when the universe started expanding. What is the most popular theory? What other theories are there?
Окей. И вам предлагаются некоторые навыки при овладении навыком чтения. Set and propose. Before you read a text, think what you already know about the topic. This will help you think what else you would like to learn about it. Итак, перед тем, как прочитать текст, подумайте, пожалуйста, что вы уже знаете по этой теме. Это поможет вам подумать, что еще вы хотели бы узнать об этом. Okay, and next. Listen and read the text. Can you answer your questions? Сейчас мы послушаем и прочитаем текст и ответьте на вопрос. Смогли ли вы ответить на свои вопросы, которые хотели задать? Okay, listen please.
How did it all begin? Throughout history, mankind has wondered about the origin of the universe. Has it existed eternally with no beginning or end? Or was it created at some point in time? Physicists still can't say for certain how the universe came to exist or why it exists, but they have several theories. The Big Bang Theory. Before the 20th century, people believed that the universe had existed forever and had looked the same way forever. But in 1929, astronomers made a startling discovery. Looking through their telescopes, they noticed that the galaxies in our universe are actually moving away from each other at enormous speed. Our universe is expanding. If our universe is expanding, then logically at some point in the past, the entire universe was contained in a single point in space. The Big Bang Theory states that about 14 billion years ago, our universe exploded out of nowhere from a single point, and it has been expanding ever since to form the universe we know today. Our universe, in other words, has not existed forever. It had a definite beginning. Before our universe came into existence, there was nothing. No time, space, matter, energy. Nothing. The Big Bang created time, space, and matter. The Big Bang Theory is currently the most widely accepted hypothesis for the origin of the universe. However, it still leaves many questions unanswered. For instance, it doesn't explain why the Big Bang happened in the first place. The cyclical universe theory. The cyclical universe theory addresses the question, what caused the Big Bang? The answer it gives is the collapse and expansion of a prior universe. According to the cyclical universe theory, our universe began when another universe collapsed violently into a single point, then exploded out again. Trillions of years from now, our own universe will stop expanding and begin to contract. Eventually, it will also collapse into a single point and explode out again, giving rise to a new universe. Our universe is therefore just the latest in an endless series. Countless universes have preceded this universe, and countless others will follow it. Space and time had no beginning. Cycles of expansion, contraction, collapse, and explosion have been going on forever. The multiple universe theory. According to the multiple universe theory, what we have been calling the universe is actually nothing like we thought. It is just a single bubble in an infinite number of universes. We are actually living in a multiverse consisting of trillions of universes. The multiverse has existed forever, and each universe in it is different. The main motivation behind the multiple universe theory is to provide an explanation as to why our universe seems to be so perfectly suited towards supporting life. For many people, this fact demands an explanation. They feel it is too much of a coincidence that the conditions in our universe just happen to be right to make life possible. The multiple universe theory states that there is nothing mysterious about this. There are trillions upon trillions of universes in the multiverse, and therefore at least a few of them will have conditions that make life possible. We simply happen to be living in one of these universes.
Окей, итак, мы с вами продолжаем, и для того, чтобы понять текст, я хотела вам показать еще и видео.
How did it all begin? Physicists still can't say for certain how the universe came to exist, or why it exists, but they have several theories. In 1929, astronomers made a startling discovery. Looking through their telescopes, they noticed that the galaxies in our universe are actually moving away from each other, and our universe is expanding. The Big Bang theory states that about 14 billion years ago, our universe exploded out of nowhere from a single point, and it has been expanding ever since to form the universe we know today. Before our universe came into existence, there was nothing. No time, space, matter, energy, nothing. The Big Bang theory is currently the most widely accepted hypothesis for the origin of the universe. According to the cyclical universe theory, our universe began when another universe collapsed violently into a single point, then exploded out again. Trillions of years from now, our own universe will stop expanding and begin to contract. Eventually, it will also collapse into a single point and explode out again, giving rise to a new universe. Countless universes have preceded this universe, and countless others will follow it. According to the multiple universe theory, what we have been calling the universe is actually nothing like we thought. We are actually living in a multiverse consisting of trillions of universes. The main motivation behind the multiple universe theory is to provide an explanation as to why our universe seems to be so perfectly suited towards supporting life. For many people, it is too much of a coincidence that the conditions in our universe just happen to be right to make life possible. The multiple universe theory states that there are trillions upon trillions of universes in the multiverse, and therefore at least a few of them will have conditions that make life possible. Which theory do you believe? Or do you have a theory of your own?
Окей. Итак, теперь давайте попробуем выполнить с вами третье упражнение. Read the article again, then for questions from 1 to 8, choose from theories from A to C. The theories may be used more than once. Which theories? Окей. Выполните, пожалуйста, задание самостоятельно, все это по тексту, и потом сверитесь с моими ответами. Мы же продолжаем. Итак, the first. Окей, я могу добавить тут, нет, два ответа. B, C. Окей, number 2, I think A. Number 3, C. Number 4, B. Number 5, A, B. Number 6, A. Number 7, B. Number 8, C. Окей, let's check. Так, все верно получилось. Давайте посмотрим. Окей. Вот, но, к сожалению, нам не получается посмотреть по тексту. Но я думаю, что это задание вам достаточно хорошо объяснено, и вы с ним справитесь. Exercise 4. Fill in. Вам нужно поставить данные слова в предложение. Okay, the first, astronomers have discovered that our universe has been expanding since it was formed. Many universes may have existed prior to the one we are living in. Our universe might actually be just one of an infinite number of our other universes. One day our universe may collapse and give rise to a new universe. According to the Big Bang theory, our universe exploded into existence from a single point. Okay, let's check. Так, хорошо. Данное задание выполнено. Я думаю, что у вас тоже ответы все верные. And next exercise. Exercise 5. Identifying pronoun references. Look at the underlined pronouns in the text. Decide which noun each one refers to. Итак, выполните, пожалуйста, данное задание самостоятельно и потом сверитесь с моими ответами. Окей. Так, A. Our universe and the Big Bang theory. B. Cyclical universe theory and our universe. The universe. The multiverse and universes. Okay, let's check. Итак, задание данное выполнено верно. Я думаю, что и вас не вызвало оно затруднений. Exercise 6. Grammar. Look at the words in bold which one is. Итак, вам нужно найти a compound noun, an ing adjective, a compound adjective, a superlative adjective. Все данные темы вам знакомы очень. Я думаю, что это задание тоже не вызовет у вас трудностей. Итак, starling ing adjective, compound adjective widely accepted. Single point compound no. And superlative adjective is the latest. Let's check. It's very easy. Speaking and writing. Write one question for each theory in the text. Write the answers on a separate piece of paper. Okay, let's listen.
How did the universe start according to the Big Bang Theory? According to the cyclical universe theory, what caused the Big Bang? How many universes are there according to the multiple universe theory?
Our universe exploded out of nothing from a single point about 14 billion years ago. It was caused by the collapse and expansion of a prior universe. There are trillions upon trillions of universes.
Okay, and the 8. Do some internet research and find out another theory about the origin of the universe. Write a short text, present it to the class. И я вам показываю, как это можно сделать. As an example.
3 scientists, Fred Hoyle, Thomas Gold, and H. Bondi, set out a theory known as the steady-state theory. It proposed an eternal universe based on the cosmological principle originally proposed by Einstein. Their idea was that the universe is smooth and looks the same to all observers in all times and at all places. It proposed that there was the spontaneous and continuous creation of matter. In each area of space, once a year a new atom comes into existence, which would accumulate over time and maintain a constant density in an expanding universe. As old stars and galaxies die, new ones are born and formed by the constant regeneration of matter through this spontaneous process. This theory never gained the scientific support that the Big Bang did. It was also very difficult to prove, as no one had ever observed the creation of these atoms that were supposed to be occurring spontaneously out in space.
Окей, и еще раз хотела бы напомнить вам, что касаемо грамматики, у вас есть подсказки в виде grammar reference 19. У вас указано, где можно посмотреть, чтобы вспомнить правила comparative superlative and compound nouns. Окей? Надеюсь, данный урок вам был понятен. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Be healthy.